Hello, Fight Insight fans, viewers, and listeners. I'm the Filipino podcasting machine, Princey D, and with me, as always, the man formerly known as Timbo Slice Timmy B. Before we start, please take a moment to subscribe to us on YouTube and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to support the show, check out middaysquares.com and save 15% by using code FIGHTINSIGHT15. On today's episode, we talked to a co-owner of an MMA organization out in the East Coast of Canada, discuss the chase for Chase, Fury versus Ngannou, UFC Font versus Vera, and a whole lot more. Tim, hit it. Yeah, it's Timmy B, Princey D, Fight Insight. Yeah.
All right, our guest today is a black belt in jiu-jitsu and an avid lover of mixed martial arts, as we all are. Since 2014, he's promoted over 40 events, and today he comes to us as the co-owner of FLA, Fight League Atlantic. It's an East Coast Canadian MMA promotion, which returns to Moncton, New Brunswick on April 30th this weekend at the Moncton Colliseum. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to us from Nova Scotia, please welcome
Derek Clarke.
Wow, that is probably the best intro I've ever had in my life. So,
Derek,
awesome.
can I tell you, it every time I do it, it takes a lot out of me. So after this, I might need to just regroup. It takes a whole lot, man. It takes a piece out of me every time. I wish you gave me a nickname.
Derek.
Cat.
Do you have a nickname?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cat. Cat is what they call me.
Derek the Cat Clarke. We're
Perfect.
gonna edit the hell out of this bad boy for sure.
Yeah. Derek, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, very interested. Okay, so we're going to get right to it. You've got a promotion that you co-own called Fight League Atlantic.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that. What is this promotion? What's it all about?
So we're a full-scale pro amateur mixed martial arts organization just based out in the East Coast. We have the benefit on the East Coast of being kind of located in between three provinces, Newfoundland being a little bit farther, but between PEI and New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, we have a lot of athletes out here that don't get a lot of opportunities, not just location wise, but to get to these different fights, whether it be in Montreal for another organization, which would be the next closest. So there's a lot of talent out here, and that just was a niche that needed to be filled. So we started back in 2014 doing jiu-jitsu events, like kind of like high level pro versus Joe, kind of it'd be like, we brought Diego Sanchez in, those kind of people, like to go against local people. In a small little town of 5,000 people. It was really cool and really well received out here. And then we got into tournaments and slowly but surely found our way into MMA. So here we are, and through a pandemic and ready to go this weekend.
That's crazy, man. And you are on this weekend. It is FLA 3.
Correct. Yeah. Our first large scale MMA event was February 5th or February 8th, I think, 2020. And then obviously we all know what happened directly after that.
Yeah.
We were able to pull one off last year. We were scheduled to go in September last year in Nova Scotia, and then the commission shut us down due to COVID concerns 2 weeks out. So we were forced to transition and move a whole different province of New Brunswick and change the date. We were delayed by 1 week or so, and we ended up doing the event in New Brunswick. And the week before we ended up the event in New Brunswick, they put a clause in that you couldn't go in or out of the city because of COVID, but somehow we were still allowed to put our event on. It was bananas, but yeah, we're still plowing forward, and we're excited for, like, we have a close to a sellout event this weekend, and we couldn't be more excited.
Now, what does a sellout event mean? How big is this venue? I mean, you're in the Moncton Colliseum.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are you expecting?
Well, it's funny. So for us, we have 1,000 seats for us.
Okay.
That's a sellout. Not, the big, large Moncton Colliseum. It's a good question because that's where our last event was, and it's kind of like a hall attached to the Colliseum.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a smaller room, but our last event was in the large scale stadium. So we sold like 380 tickets, and it was in this 10,000 seat stadium. It was so embarrassing for me, like from like the the product. Like you guys should take a lot of pride in what your product looks like, and for me that's a big thing. And when I see all this work in this beautiful stadium and then it's empty, not that it's empty, you have 400 people or whatever in there, but it takes away for me. I'm just like, how can we fix that? So hopefully we will be able to fill this place up and go from there.
Nice, man. Now, so many questions, but your fighters, what you're saying is you're filling the niche for the East Coast Atlantic fighters. What if I am a killer from Brazil? Can I sign up for Fight League Atlantic? Like, how are you finding your fighters, and how can fighters find you?
Yeah, great question. We're open to anybody. We're not picky, I guess is what we'll say. Like we want people who respect the martial art, who handle themselves really well inside and outside the club. We want people who we want people who are out in the community doing good things for their community and representing martial arts well. That's a big thing for us. And we want fighters to grow from our promotion. So we'll never hold anybody back. We'll always allow these fighters to go wherever they need to go to further their career. And that's, for us, that's what it's about. We're just big martial art fans. We're both guys who are black belts and train forever. And we love the sport. So we love the events. It gets, I get goosebumps talking about it. Like, I had this dream like years ago about like buying a cage and doing this, and now here we're doing it. And it's a crazy thing, right? Like it really is. Like you said earlier, how do you start a promotion? And it's like, man, it's crazy. Like if we had a book of the amount of ups and downs and crying and joy or whatever it is, like through this whole thing, it's been a hell of a roller coaster for sure.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, the amount of times I've wanted to murder Prince just creating a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, today alone, 7 times.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine the stresses. Now, and I'm going to go all over
a lot of murder.
Yeah, a lot of murder.
Derek, I can't even believe I'm still breathing. Like, it's great.
Yeah, it's very lucky, Derek. Very lucky. Okay. A lot of questions. Okay, so but if an athlete wants to find you, they
so they can, like, obviously we're pretty busy on social media and on our website. They can go right to fightleagueatlantic.com and register there, and they'll put them right in their weight class automatically, which is pretty cool. And so we can tell. A big thing with us is just reach out to us if you want to fight. Again, like if you're from Brazil, or Canada, we're not opposed to anybody. We want people to give them opportunities, but first and foremost is the East Coast. So we want to continue to build. That's why we're doing a lot of amateur fights earlier, is because we want to build this amateur scene kind of back up, and so we can have pros that we built. Not we built, but you know what I'm saying. Like they built themselves with these opportunities, and then now they're on to being a pro with us, and then further they can go to wherever they want. They could go down to the States, or they could go to BTC, or wherever they wanted to go, right?
So in Atlantic, Canada, are there a lot of mixed martial arts gyms?
There is actually. There's quite a few. I bet in like the 4 provinces, you'd probably be like around 75.
Oh,
I bet.
Okay.
Oh, a ton. Like in Nova Scotia alone, like you're probably looking at 30.
Okay. And now anybody can open a gym. So when you say that there's this plethora of gyms, are they like they're good gyms, like good people? Like you said, we want respectable people. We're all Canadian here on this podcast, so we're all the greatest people on earth. Derek, don't worry about it. Yeah. We're all polite, but I mean, it's not like a gym full of hooligans. It's like people that are actually respecting martial arts and actually have the ability to train people well.
Yeah, I think there are some kind of those clubs around too, but the majority of these clubs are really like they're jiu-jitsu heavy clubs, right?
Okay.
Here, like we're really focused on jiu-jitsu. But there's a lot of really good boxing, and like you have people like Titans MMA, who's like the big player when it comes to actual MMA and MMA sparring and that kind of stuff. Like those guys, they've been around forever. That's how we've been doing events, is because people like them, they started this kind of stuff. And so they're the big players when it comes to like actual MMA, and like Fit Plus is another MMA gym, but the rest are really like jiu-jitsu focused. Like just, it's funny because I laugh about it, because we used to do these big jiu-jitsu shows like I talked about, and and for so long, and now I think so many of the coaches are now like, I don't really want anything to do with MMA because it's such a different it brings a different element into your gym, totally, right? Like it's
Right.
back in the day, like it was a different vibe of where people would go train and they'd want to train for free and they don't want to pay, and it was just more of a hassle, I think, right? And so hopefully we can change that again, though. So yeah, reach out.
Hey, Derek, Tim, you know what? An idea just came into my head. We
This is gonna
should
be bad.
do. Oh, this is gonna be great, Derek. You'll love this. We should do like an Anthony Bourdain parts unknown MMA edition. Derek, you'll be our lead guide, and we'll go through every MMA gym in the East Coast.
Sure, that's a great idea, actually.
Dude, that's such a good show.
Yeah.
Well,
God damn. I'm going to edit this out so nobody steals this, Derek. Don't worry. All right.
seriously, no one ever agrees on any of my stuff. This is
No,
a
this
great
is
idea.
good. Shh, just keep it tight. This is good. We're going to do this. Derek, you said you made reference to, hey, we want people to do well, and you said we're not going to hold them in. So I assume you're talking about the contracts?
Yeah, we'll never we'll probably never sign anybody to an exclusive contract. We're a
Okay.
local promotion in Canada. Like,
Yeah.
we're like, we want to provide the athletes like we take a lot of pride in how I come from a really extensive customer service background in tourism, and my business partner John, he owns 4 or 5 other businesses that are in customer service too, and it's a big thing for us to treat these fighters how they deserve to be treated. And so, like, our amateurs, just to give you an idea of like our upcoming fights, we have an actual fight kit deal with Matsuru. We'll give them a shout out, matsuru.ca.
Nice.
A really great deal. We signed with them this year for exclusive for 2 years. So every fighter, amateur or pro, receives shin pads, gloves, a tracksuit, hat, gear bag, rash guard, shorts, spats, all that stuff for free.
Nice, man.
For the walkout, yeah. It's just like that's a little thing on like just trying to make like an amateur. It's your first fight, and like you're getting all this stuff for free. Where
Yeah.
it's you can go to a lot of these other amateur sports, you certainly aren't getting that, and that's the idea for us to make them feel special. Make it some people might only fight once, so
Yeah. Yep.
we want them to make it feel special and enjoy the experience, and hopefully they can use that as they grow in life or in martial arts or in their career or whatever.
No, that's awesome, man. A couple of weeks ago, we had Bellator fighter Janae Harding.
Yeah,
And
Australian,
we were,
right?
yeah, Australian. And we were talking to her, and she said almost exactly that about like how important it is on that first fight to soak it all in and to, remember the moment and feel it. So it's very similar. I do want to ask you a contract question, because this was hot on our Instagram, Derek. I'm sure you saw it. It was very hot.
Mhm.
Chase Sherman in the UFC. Did you hear the story about this guy? And
No,
about the
he's been like
contract?
dropped and brought back like a lot of times now, though.
So he got let go,
Yeah.
and then they let him go because they said they liked him, but they couldn't find him any fights. He was on like a 3-fight skid anyways. They said, we're going to let you go because he said, I'm going to go fight BKFC. Like, let me
Yeah.
go make some money. So nicely, the UFC said, okay, go ahead. Something like 4 days later, and this was reported on bjpen.com, 4 days later, they go, hey, there's a guy dropped out of a fight. We need you. We'll sign you back for double the pay. It's short notice fight, 4 days. We know that, this is short notice. We're going to double your pay. We're going to sign you to a 4-fight contract. And we promise we will give you a second fight no matter what happens on this fight. Okay. Then he gets sick on the day of the fight.
Oh, no.
Can't fight. So then I'm like, well, there's no way the UFC is honoring this now. Now they just boot this guy.
Yeah.
But instead, they book him for the week after. So now he's fighting the same guy again. But now he's had like more time. In your professional opinion as a promoter, what is the obligation of UFC to give this guy that second fight? It's all well and good. You can promise whatever the hell you want, but unless it's in the contract.
Exactly.
This guy goes out. So Chase Sherman goes out. He bombs the fight, right? And
Yeah.
now you have even less reason, because now you've
Yeah.
had 2 weeks, right? I mean, not a lot of time, but still, it's not 4 days. What's the odds that the UFC brings him back for a second fight on a
Pretty slim,
decent?
in my opinion. Like they're a corporation that business and money is at the forefront of everything they're going to do and the decisions they make. So, like, you hear the stories time and time again about that kind of stuff, and it's whether it's them or another big corporation. Sometimes, like, the train has to keep moving. So at the end of the day, like, you're an entity, and you have to be smart as that entity and be like, okay, I got to look after myself. And that's where really good management comes into play when it comes to this sport. Like having a good management who can guide you and knows promoters and knows
Right.
just how the business works, because there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of pullouts. It's a different kind of sport that way. So to me, like I don't know. Again, like it's hard for me to compare a lot of everything we do to everybody else because we're so involved in the scene out here, and I have such good relationships with a lot of the people out here that I probably can never see us kind of doing. Like we're fans first, so I don't want to ever see somebody get hurt. But if a fighter wants to do that, and they want to fight, but you got to have that stuff in the contract. Period.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Now,
for sure.
How do you pick your cage or your ring? What kind of cage or ring are we looking at in FLA?
So we have a 8-sided cage.
Okay.
Unlike a lot of people.
So it's an 8-sided cage, and how big is it?
It's 30 feet across.
Okay.
Plus
and I asked that question as if I know the normal sizes of a cage. Is that big? Is that big? Is that small? What's the?
Well, the UFC, for example, is 36.
Okay, so it's slightly smaller.
So they're like 44, 45 feet.
Okay,
so
okay.
10 feet wider than ours.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
and ring girls, yes or no? Not like, do you have them?
Yeah, we do, and I don't mean to sigh, but we don't really want them.
What? Are you Khabib Nurmagomedov in disguise? What's
Well, to me, it's just it's like an old school traditional thing, right? Which I get, but in this day and age, I'm just boxing is 12 rounds. I get it.
Yeah.
But MMA is 3 rounds. If you can't count to 3,
yeah,
or you can't see on the screen that it's third round.
Yeah.
Derek, I've got another great idea. Instead of ring girls, you should have ring dudes.
You could get Elias Theodoro.
Right? Ring dudes, guys.
What is it ring dudes they call it?
I don't know. God knows, Derek. You don't want that. You don't want FLA to fold already. Get out of here. No, okay, hold on. You could have, but why? Okay. I'm surprised that you're saying that. Isn't this like you're an East Coast promotion? Isn't this a primo opportunity to have like ring girls with toques or something?
Why toques? What do you mean? What's
going on? Like to make it extra Canadian. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, to me, honestly, like between you and I see so many of these promotions with the ring guard girls, and like it's so tacky.
Yeah, well, you don't need them. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You don't need them like that. I just
find it tacky. Some of them, like our ring girls, are a couple girls who are involved in the scene out here, so they want to help out, and that's why they're there. They're great girls, and they want to support and be part of the scene, which is fantastic. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll never go to a model agency and be like, here, we want to pay $1,000 for. I don't think that's something we'll ever do. It's not.
Sure.
It's not important for us.
So okay, but important ones, so. But if you're a hot chick in Atlantic Canada and you're watching this podcast and you want to just be a ring girl, reach out to Derek
or John.
Sorry, I don't want to get you in trouble. Yeah. Reach out to FightLeagueAtlantic.com.
Kelsey. No.
All right. Okay.
info@FightLeagueAtlantic.com.
All right, there you go. All right. Now, ring announcer. Very important, Derek.
Very.
We have had Joe Martinez on our podcast.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
He's the freaking greatest guy. We have a young up-and-coming ring announcer coming on our podcast later next month.
Okay. From where?
Hot on the scene. He's in Miami. He's Big Mo. He does it for BYB and some fighting and some boxing promotions. Great. He looks like oh my God. Like the guy, not Fido Dido from the old 7-Up, but the Max Headroom. Like he's got blonde, big hair, wears big glasses, very personal. There's a girl that we're going to have on the podcast. Her name is Range, a Filipino girl out in, I think, the California area. She's big into it as well.
Interesting.
Who do you have?
We have a guy named Craig Ferguson, who's been
Craig Ferguson?
The Craig Ferguson. Yeah, the British one.
Okay.
He's it's funny you say that because that's his email though, Craig Ferguson.
Oh, really?
But
I love Craig Ferguson, the
he's a
comedian.
guy he's a black belt out here, and he's been involved in the scene forever, and he used to he works in film and TV and that kind of stuff as a narrator, and it kind of worked out for both sides. So
Okay.
he did our first show, and we haven't looked back. Last show, actually, we had a different guy in there, Jeremy Hull, and he did a good job for our Kumite, but he'll be involved now for this event, interviewing like fans in the crowd and stuff for the
Nice.
review. But yeah, so Craig Ferguson.
All right,
Derek,
cool.
if you guys need a filler, just let me know. I'll be in the background. If you actually just need me to just call people out coming into the entrance, like I could do that, or in the main lobby.
Sure, man. Come on up.
Derek, the cat Clarke with medium coffee from Timmy's. Why
Have you ever
not?
been out here before?
Yeah, I actually took a vacation there one time in the middle of middle of winter, and it was cool. You know what? I know, man. I'm still getting flack for it, but it was nice, man. They were like Prince, like when I came in and went to a gift shop, and they're like, "Why are you here? This is usually a summer trip," and I'm like, "Yeah, like we kind of." We had nothing else to do, so we just
Yeah, I don't
right?
mean to offend you, but we were bored.
Yeah. All right. So
where'd you
all right.
go? Oh,
So
sorry.
you've got the cage, you've got the ring girls, you've got the announcer. What about your commentary team?
So our first event, we had legendary Jimmy Smith. I'm not sure if you know who Jimmy Smith is.
Yeah, the one from Bellator?
Yeah, he's on WWE now, actually.
Holy crap. Okay, yeah.
So he was on UFC when they were with Fox.
Yeah, he got shot out of there pretty
He
quick.
got shit canned, yeah. So Jimmy and I haven't spoke since because I think he's mad at Canada in general. He got stuck in Montreal on his flight. A big snowstorm we had, and we lost our main event for our first card too. So they all got stuck in Montreal. So yeah, he was not impressed. But it was funny. I listened to a podcast that someone interviewed him, and they're like, "How did you end up on this friggin' like Fight League Atlantic event?" And he's like, "Man, like this kid in Nova Scotia like messaged me a year before, and he was like, I'm starting this promotion. I want you to be the commentator." And I was like, whatever. And then he just wouldn't leave me alone. So I was like, I felt bad, so I just went and did it.
Like, hey, man, look, as someone, you know, that we're running a podcast. Look, we reach out to fighters like 1,000 times, and then that 1,001 time, that's when they respond. So what are you gonna do?
Right. That's
good
it.
for you, man. So okay, but who's your team moving forward now?
So a former UFC fighter and M1 global champion Chris Collier, who is a local Nova Scotian boy out here. So
yeah.
He's a really good friend of mine, and he's a commentator for this weekend's event. He worked that first event with Jimmy.
Nice.
Did a great job. So he'll do this event. And Christine Royal Fader, who has been doing a great job for our grappling and Kumite events. So we have these Fight League Atlantic events, but we also have FLA grappling, Fight League Atlantic grappling. So it's like tournament style submission only events in the cage.
Nice.
So we do those as well. So we have her on there, and also Justin McKenzie. He's an amateur fighter out here, and was supposed to fight on the card, and unfortunately got hurt. So we're going to throw him in there and test him out. But moving forward, we do have a plan moving forward, but we'll see. There you go. Yeah.
Look, we are for the people on audio only. I am pointing viciously at Prince and myself. We're good to go, dude. We're ready.
Nice. Man, anytime you want to come out.
Yeah. And Derek, trust the commentating you'll get from our end, man. It's like next level, man. Like we talk about everyone. We talk about shorts, gloves, like haircuts, like you name it. Like if someone's nails aren't cut, we talk about that too.
Yeah.
How big the jock straps are and all that. We talk about all kinds.
Now, yeah, okay.
Important detail.
Yeah, but we're not kidding though. If you need someone, you give us a call.
And like honestly, if you ever want to come out,
yeah, we will be there, man. Okay.
I could see Derek.
Yeah. Would you expect? Now this is you're a Canadian, so I know that this is probably never even possible, but would you expect or do you demand that fighters not badmouth your organization?
No, that's freedom of speech, right? So,
Ooh.
like, it's you have to be able to take that stuff in order to grow, right, and get better as an organization. Like, and if you like, we've had people do that before, but like, that's one thing about putting yourself in the public eye, like, is that you're not going to make everybody happy. And it took me many years to like be like, man, why doesn't that person like me? Now I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't give two fucks if that person likes me or not.
Mm.
Because I can't please that person. Like, I have a business to
Right.
run, and like, it's unfortunate because like I've lost lots of great friends through this business. I've gained lots of good friends too, right? But it's part of it. But yeah, no, I think it's important that everybody should be able to have their opinion, and again, that's how we're going to get better. There's lots to learn. I can learn from everybody at a different point every day, whether it's this podcast or whatever. So yeah,
All right. No, I
never.
appreciate that. The reason I asked that is because recently we posted on Instagram about AJ Mckee and Bellator, and
Yeah,
before his last fight where he lost his title, he was saying in public interviews, he's like, "I'm going to be a UFC champ
yeah,
one day. I can't wait to get to UFC." And I'm like, "Dude, you're in Bellator that is trying to be the number one organization.
yeah.
How can you be sitting there saying you're going to go here as if that's your end goal? You should be happy with Bellator." But
It's super disrespectful, but it's weird and ironic that he lost that fight.
well, to a decision that was kind of questionable.
That's
So,
what I'm saying. It's pretty weird. Like, I don't know, right? But I don't. Yeah, I don't. That kind of stuff I don't really agree with because like, but a lot of companies I will say like, when you're dealing with like Scott Coker and like, that's again your UFC's Disney, Bellator is, I don't know who Bellator is owned by, but
Paramount?
yeah,
No,
like these are
I think so.
huge, big world companies, like
Right.
worldwide companies that have like a team of massive lawyers and stuff. Like, I work for Disney Cruise Line, so I know what working for Disney's like, and they don't mess around, man. And so I don't know. I would assume they have something in their contract where that's not
Ugh.
appropriate, or maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah. But I appreciate how you're saying, hey, we know that we're a small league. We know that people are going to move on from here. So I guess that it is a little bit different for you. But I was still wondering, like, you still wouldn't want people, and you just hope that they wouldn't like just trash the league that they're in, especially your champion.
Yeah.
Like what the
Yeah,
hell, man?
it's not very classy, right? And that's one thing I always say about this sport is like, it's disappointing sometimes when you see athletes get on the microphone and talk, because I think I talked to Chris Kalidas about this a lot. I'm like, there's a lot of room for athletes, past athletes, to kind of help groom athletes that are coming up in the sport, and explain to them this is how it kind of works and this is how you do interviews. Like, if you look at hockey players, I know a couple guys who played in the NHL, and I'm sure you guys know people who played like high level hockey. It's just, and they all say the same thing. They're all trained like how to speak, and
Yeah.
how to say the same thing to keep it professional. Like, you don't, not too often do you ever hear them swear or like. So it's fighting, it's brash. I get that, but I also think like, I'm a big respect classy kind of. I'm not saying I'm the most classy guy, but I mean, like, when it comes to like fighting and stuff, I think that's what it's about, really.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. In your organization in FLA, who wraps the belt around the champ? Is it you?
It has to be you, Derek.
Yeah, John or I, either one. Like,
Okay.
we have a thing where we do an event per event. So,
Oh,
and
okay.
we've only had to do one because it was we've only had two events for MMA. Grappling, we've done lots of belts and stuff. So we just go one for one. We're business partners, and we have a lot of respect for one another. So we just kind of, we don't put a lot of thought into it. We, neither one of us want to do it. So we're always shitting on the other guy, going, "It's like your turn, man." Like, oh,
Rock, paper, scissors.
yeah, like
Rock,
both of
paper,
us
scissors.
are always like, not like,
All right.
we're not people that want to put ourselves out there that much.
So there has been a few cases where the president or whatever, most famously, I'm going to go to ONE FC, the CEO out there, Yoda Chatri,
Mm-hmm.
when his beloved Christian Lee lost the title. I don't know if you saw this, when Christian Lee lost the title to South Korean Ok Rae-yoon.
No.
Okay, so this guy loves the Lee family, right? Like, literally, it's their bread and butter. He loses the title in a decision, which was not even a bad decision. When
Okay.
he goes to put the title around the guy, he literally like flings it on the guy's shoulder, and his face looks like he's like, fuck this guy. And he like flings the belt over and just walks off. It's the worst thing I've ever seen like a promoter do.
That's disrespectful.
Will you do that, Derek, to a champion you don't like?
No, I just wouldn't go in the cage.
So you're just throwing the belt over the cage?
No, John would do it, or
see,
vice versa, or we would do like Dana did and get someone else, and you leave the venue, I guess. There's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that, like, even in a local, like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, like in this kind of business. Like, it's a really in-depth business that have a lot of emotions involved. So it's. Yeah, you're not going to get along with everybody. It's life, right? So, but the idea is to keep it classy, keep it professional, and
man, Derek, you guys, I've got another great idea, man. It's just spewing out of my head. You should have the making of a fight organization. You should have like behind the scenes, the ups and downs, like Derek knocking John out just because the coffee isn't hot enough or the belt didn't come in, or like what if there's not enough seats in the venue? Like what's all that stuff. That would be cool. Why not, right?
You're not the first one to mention that. You're not the first one.
Like a documentary or something.
We don't have time to do it, but I think there's a huge opportunity for somebody to follow us around and kind of do that and make it not a reality show, but some type of like documentary or whatever. Because you're right. It's a lot for sure.
Like, but Derek, you should shoot it like the Office. Have you seen The Office? You should do it the Office style. You know what I mean? Like, have you guys seen The Office?
No? Oh yeah.
Or do you have a rivalry with Carol Baskins at all? Like about her Tiger Reserve or anything?
I'll tell you, we did have what's the guy's name? Anyway, the guy who got his arm bitten off in the Tiger King, we had him on the podcast.
What? Really?
Yeah. I don't know what his name is.
Wait, why did you have him on the podcast?
Just randomly. It was Tiger King was huge during COVID, so we were reaching out to all kinds of different people. So we had a lot of different random people on our podcast.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah. Not just fight people at all. Like in the beginning, it was like you'd have Ben Askren one night and then that guy the next night.
That's awesome. Now, I'm going to edit this out, but please let people know what your podcast is.
Sure, it's called FLA Exposure. Yeah, so you can.
And where can people find it?
On any platform, any podcast platform. The video versions are on our YouTube page, and the audio is pretty much anywhere else you get a podcast. So,
Derek,
I can see your podcast. It's like, oh yeah, we've got Ben Askren, and next week we have Lotto Max winner.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
50 million. Yeah.
Nice.
It was like during COVID, we were just like the DMs were going like mad.
Yeah.
So, it was fun though, man. It was fun.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
The thing is with documentaries too, is like that there's always a film crew there when nothing is happening, and then something exciting happens. I mean, that's the way these documentaries like get so successful, because they were just happened to be there when something. So I mean, like some documentary crew should hit you guys up and start following you guys around, because you never know.
I think a lot of people would enjoy that. Like it's behind the scenes stuff it's what's hot. It's what people want.
Man. Yeah. Now you're saying that you're looking for fighters, and in our podcast, we always do a friends of the podcast update where we talk about, past fighters that we've interviewed. Mm-hmm. And one update that I was going to give is that Gita Marie Figueroa, she is a transgender fighter, Derek. Okay. She's out of Florida. Now, she's a transgender fighter who her thing is that she will only fight males or other transgenders to avoid the stigma of some of the transgender fighters we've seen.
Oh, it's a male transgender female.
Yes, male transition to female. Okay. But she is only fighting males or other transgenders.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair.
She won her first amateur MMA fight against a male last a couple months ago, February-ish maybe. She was set to fight at WCFL 32 on June 4th in Tampa, Florida. Just today announced that her opponent is out with injury. Now, curious, Derek, as a promoter, would you have her on your show fighting a male competitor?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to tell her to reach out to you.
Oh yeah,
she's-
we're not opposed to any, like, that's the commission. You know, that's, I don't know what the rules are. I would assume it'd be okay. I would assume. But
Not to put you on the spot or anything, but just, you know.
well, you did, but
You did. Yeah.
that was a big spot.
Yeah. It's interesting though, because as a promoter, like when we were up, yeah, get this a little bit. Yeah. No, but as a podcast, like when we had her on, it was very controversial. People had a lot of thoughts on it, right? But if you listen, and
she's only fighting males,
yeah,
what's the point? What's the argument?
Look, we had her on. We support her. We think it's okay.
Like,
but
to me,
and
I roll with lots of women who kick my ass.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, so, you know,
there's one lady at our gym, lady that used to train with us.
Yeah.
And she would beat the crap out of every guy. It was so funny. She, like MMA class, she would come in, strike with them. The minute they started throwing a little bit funny, she would grab them, take them to the ground, submit them. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But all right, I will tell Gita Marie to reach out to you.
For sure.
Because I know she's looking for a fight.
It's 2022, and so
yeah, man. And I'm not saying nothing, but it's good. It's good for it's good promotional stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. So,
Derek, you should change. You guys should change your name. You should name it Nice, like NLA, Nice League Atlantic. It's so nice, man. Like, so nice, so accommodating. Like, the works. Derek, you guys are amazing over there, man.
We take a lot of pride in that, man. Like, again, like the Disney, the old way, like, exceed the expectation. Like, every fighter who fights for us is a customer. We take a lot of pride in that, and that's the way it should be. You know,
you guys are like the Holiday Inn of like MMA, like 5-star.
Is Holiday Inn 5-star? I don't know.
I hope so.
3.5, maybe.
3.5. Maybe a Courtyard Marriott, maybe something.
That's average.
Okay.
Derek, to put you on the spot one more time, do you have a championship belt in your residence?
Do not.
No? Okay. How many champions do you have in your league right now? Not to name them all, but how many divisions do you have where you have champions?
Just one champion as of now. A light heavyweight amateur champion. Jordan Noseworthy is our light heavyweight. So again, we've only had 2 MMA large scale.
Okay.
So we're just kind of ramping up and getting going. Lots of, like, Drake Farrell is a guy, or Sarah Wilson, who's fighting in this event. She's a 3-time Kumite grappling champion. Like, she's won 3 tournaments back to back. So
nice.
She's won a belt and a ring and all that fun stuff. But yeah, hopefully we're going. We have, what is it? What day is it? It's April 30th. Then we got June 11th, and then after that we have September and November. So we have four events for this year MMA, and we're just going to ramp up like that, and eventually we hope to be doing 10 a year. So
nice, man.
Yeah,
nice. Schedule. Congratulations. Fan question from Cadenstock.mma asks, when are you coming to Newfoundland?
Talk about putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
The problem with Newfoundland is there's no commission. So that's the big issue over, like everything in this business is regulated by the government. So it's no different than as if you own a bar and you have a liquor inspector that comes and tells you how to operate and tells you how to serve and when you can serve, and all. That's how this business operates too. So we run to the beat of their drum, and there's no commission over in Newfoundland. So you pretty much have to get bills passed, and our events are hard. Like, it's a big deal to get these events off the ground with the amount of legalities involved. But I think it's something that's going to happen in the near future, because the commission in New Brunswick has mentioned and has expressed interest in doing it with us. Nice. So we just have to go over there with them and get the ball rolling. And so we'll see what happens down the road. I think it's a possibility for sure.
I thought you were saying there's no commission, so we'll see you tomorrow kind of thing. Like, we'll just set up shop tomorrow.
No, I wish it was like that.
It's the opposite. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of great talent over in Newfoundland, a lot of great fighters over there.
But they can just come on over. They can come on over and fight for you, man.
Talented athletes competing on this card, actually, coming over from Evolution St. John. So we're looking forward to those 2 fighting.
Nice. And before we let you go, what are some of the big matchups we should look for at Fight League Atlantic?
Sure. There's there's a lot of really good, it's funny because some of our fights, like these kids have no fights at all, but they're all so talented and they've been winning the jiu-jitsu tournaments and killing out here for a long time. And now they're getting these opportunities to go in the cage. Like our last event, we had 5 arm bars out of 10 fights, like real quick ones too. Like, and like, then a couple knockouts and then a couple other submissions too. Like it's a really grappling heavy community out here.
Okay.
So in the rules in amateur MMA too, like you can't strike on the ground. The ABC unified rules. So anyway, so the main event, Eric Wilson, Morgan Runs, these are 2 guys, both very, very talented, very experienced with a ton of fights. Eric's fought with a lot of different promotions around Canada, all tough fights. And Morgan's, he hasn't tested the waters outside the East Coast much, but he just went to Tiger Muay Thai for his training camp and he's ready to go. So I assume you'll see both of them stand for the majority of that fight. It'll be a really good back and forth fight. And then the co-main event, Jesse Breaking Hearts versus Luke St. Croix. Yeah, these guys are both like guys who have their foot on the gas the whole time and just don't stop. So young, just athletic, like Canada Games national wrestler kind of kids, and like just really talented. So, and then Sarah Wilson and Maria Clinton is another one, like a really fan favorite female fight out here. The girls are both well known, so that'll be a good one too. And then shout out to Rob Logan, the last he's a stud. He was on our last card, came out with a big knockout, and he lost his opponent, so now he's taking on this hell of a wrestler out of Newfoundland. So a young kid, and should be another one. So really excited.
Awesome, man. If you don't mind, after the podcast, hit us up with their Instagram handles, or just send me their names so that I can find them and add them up so that we can follow them as well and hopefully have them on the podcast. Derek, before we let you go, how do people watch the event? It's on pay-per-view, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah. FightLeagueAtlantic.com. Everything we do is on that website. So if you ever have any questions, obviously on social media, like Instagram, Fight League Atlantic, TikTok, Fight League Atlantic, YouTube, Fight League Atlantic, Facebook, Fight League, everything's Fight League Atlantic except Twitter. We don't have Twitter. It's where everything evil in the world happens, and I refuse to go there. So,
Derek, something tells me you run the TikTok account.
I do. I run all the social media, and it's not. It's just always been that way. It's not that I'm any better at it. We're both the same. We don't know what we're doing, either one of us. So we're both equally. We're both old, and the big thing about us is we're consistent. Yeah. Everything is based on consistency for us. So, yeah. But you won't see us doing any crazy TikTok videos. That's for sure.
No TikTok dancing from the FLA owners. No. All right, that's fine.
Well, maybe I probably would do it, like if someone asked me to do it, but like I'm not like. I struggle to understand how to, like, we put out a lot of content, but like when there's some kind of content, and I'm like, I can't put my head around how that works.
All right. Well, Derek, before we let you go, is there anything that you want to say to the fans, viewers, and listeners, or to people that are interested in fighting for FLA, or to people that are interested in watching? Anything you want to say?
Thanks to our fans. That's a big part of our business. Is we can't continue to run our business if we don't have butts in the seats and people buying our pay-per-view. So thanks to all those people who stuck by us through COVID and continue to support our grappling events and got us through COVID. And now here we are on the other end. Our sponsors, the same thing, carrying us through. And people like you guys, giving people like us a platform to chat and kind of expose our brand to other people around the country. And we're all in this kind of stuff together, man. I say it all the time in this country. We're all a bunch of weirdos who love combat sports, and we all got to stick together, whether it's jiu-jitsu or boxing or whatever the hell it is. So I commend you guys for doing this and giving us the time. And hopefully everybody tunes in Saturday night for a great night of fights. It's a great night. So we put on a good show out here and do a lot of good work. We take our production team is phenomenal, really good. So our events they're a little pricey, but they're worth it.
I got to ask, what is the cost?
My computer's gonna die. $39.99, taxes included.
That's not expensive, and that's Canadian dollars.
Yeah, well, like people will be like, "Well, hey man, Jake Paul's, this what, blah blah blah." I'm like, "What the fuck are you comparing us to Jake Paul for? You can't compare us to Jake Paul's event, like Triller.
Yeah,
like $1 zillion companies, but like our product is really sharp. Like you guys, we'll talk after this, but our product is really, really sharp. Like
No, man, I'm looking forward to watching it, man. I'm gonna pay the money. I'm gonna go watch it. $39.99 for our American viewers. That's like $6 American.
Yeah.
It's like just freaking, you know.
Bacon costs more than that, man.
I agree.
I'm
Right
dead
now.
serious too. The no name joints too. You know what I'm talking about, Derek.
You can't afford gas anymore. You can't go out anymore. You got nothing to do but stay at home and watch FLA on Saturday night.
Listen,
baby.
anytime you guys come out here, you get press passes and we'll put you cage side, whatever you want to do, man. Like we'll hook you up with hotels.
Yeah, buddy. We will be there one day soon. Yeah, man. One day soon we will be there. Derek, thank you so much for spending the time with us. I know we kept you a little bit longer, but we appreciate this. We will blast you out on social media as best as we can. We will share this podcast out with as many people as we can. People, go watch FLA. Again, it is in Moncton, New Brunswick on April 30th at the Moncton Colliseum. FightLeagueAtlantic.com. Let's go watch this and support some great Canadian talent. Derek, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate the platform. Have a wonderful night. Lots of
love.
Like
what Derek said, we're in it together. Derek, hit it off with a song. End it off with a song. Let's go.
And a dance.
Yeah, like just anything. Just give us something, man, because it was so inspirational. The last piece you said. So just go ahead, Derek. Just.
I can feel it calling in the air.
All right.
I don't know the rest of it though.
You just gained like 300 more pay-per-view buys for the people that want to hear that.
Who doesn't love Phil Collins?
The police,
Derek,
baby.
See you later, buddy. Have a good one, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Later.
What a great guy, man.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So, hey, April 30th, go to Fight League Atlantic and purchase that goddamn pay-per-view, right? No doubt. I did put him on the spot there with the Gita Marie, but hey, you know what? I'm trying to help out our friend of the podcast go get a fight. So I'm going to tell her, go hit him up now. He's publicly said on this mass viewed podcast that he'll hook her up with a fight. So let's do it, man.
So Fighting Site's also a fight promotional.
Yeah, man. We got to help out our people. Friends of the podcast update: Grant Neal with the beautiful victory. Prince, goddamn, unanimous decision. So happy for him. Ty Shea fights on April 29th at Combate Global. So Ty is going to kick ass. She's looking good, man. If you're on her Instagram, which everybody should be. Sponsors, we've got middaysquares.com. Thank you so much, guys. I was eating my Midday Squares today. Midday Squares, there we go. Go to middaysquares.com and use code FIGHTINSIGHT15. Princey D, Hula.
Yes. And you just contact Hula Cleaning Services. You can contact Hula Cleaning Service for all your carpet, fitness, commercial, and construction cleaning needs. You can find them at www.hulacleaning.com.
And we are getting nude today on the podcast, Prince. And by that, I mean nude drink. These guys hooked us up. So thank you to Nude. It's a vodka soda. I am drinking black cherry. This stuff is pretty good, man. Very nice. Unsweetened. No sugar, something like that. But this is good stuff, man. Vodka soda, Nude. All right. What else do we got, Prince? Next week on the podcast, we did the interview today, so we know it's happening. Guarantee 100%.
Okay, so are we making the announcement now, or?
Yeah. Say it. Who is it, Prince?
Okay, guys, are you guys ready for this? This is going to be a crazy one. Jordan, the Monkey King Levitt.
Yeah, man. Fresh off his victory, we've got Jordan Monkey King Levitt coming on. This guy's amazing.
Solid.
After you watch this podcast, go watch some of his interviews, get to know who this guy is, and then come and follow us and watch it next week. The guy's a great dude, man. Love this guy.
Nice guy.
We have no time for stuff, Prince. So we already talked about the Chase Sherman thing. Prince, I'll just get your thought. Chase Sherman's fighting this weekend.
Yep.
If he loses or does poorly, does he get the second fight that Dana has promised?
Why not? I don't see why not. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking we've got a bunch of Canadian guys at the contract department that's just really nice. That's just going to give him that shot. And I don't see what the problem is. I think he should be given a second shot. He's proven himself. I mean, he's had some downs, but give him the shot. Why not?
No. 1,000,000% he does not get that promised fight. I say they already just let him go. They already said we can't find you fights. The only reason they gave him this was because he was willing to do it on short notice.
Yeah, 4 days.
Now it's not even that.
I
So
know.
now he has more time. I mean, he's sick. God, it's not going to go well. I say he doesn't get the fight unless it was written in the contract, which I don't think they would do that. Because how can you promise to give the guy a second fight? A million things could happen, injuries, whatever. Like you can't promise that.
Yeah.
So I think if he does poorly, I think he doesn't get a fight. What else were we going to talk about? Tyson Fury versus Ngannou. Prince, early prediction. Who wins that fight?
Oh man, I think Fury's gonna take that fight. Um, I doubt Ngannou's gonna do anything to him. I think Fury's just gonna try and probably knock him out. But I mean, it's gonna be mixed rules too, right?
Well, no. How do you know that? You don't know that it's going to be mixed rules. We posted that on our Instagram saying that we propose it should be mixed rules. I said first round boxing, second round MMA, third and fourth round boxing, fifth round MMA. I'm trying to give Tyson a bit of an equalizer.
I assumed it was going to be mixed, but I mean, if it was going to be boxing all the way through, like, are you kidding me? Fury's fought guys like Francis before. It's
yeah. Okay. So Tyson gets it done.
How about you?
I don't care. I mean, I really don't care. But because I don't know that any of this shit is real. Like I haven't seen one MMA/boxing fight that I think is real. Like I think these are all kind of staged. So I don't know, man. Tyson, I guess Tyson beats him. You have to, if it's mixed rules and it gets to an MMA round, 100,000,000,000,000% Ngannou wins. He takes him down, wrestles him, and kills him.
Yeah.
Just like Demetrius did to Rodtang in ONE FC. I think once you get to that MMA round, it's over for the guy that only knows how to stand. If it's standing only, or if it's like a Triller triad combat, semi-mixed rules kind of thing, where the clinch is a little bit different or whatever, sure, maybe the MMA person has a chance, but Tyson's much bigger than Ngannou too. Like he looks much bigger. So like just fat wise.
I think reach wise too. I think he's got a longer reach than Ngannou.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. UFC event this weekend is Font versus Vera. And Prince, we have a photo from our buddies at MMA Social Squad that we were talking about before. So here we go. MMA Social Squad, ESPN 35, Font versus Vera. Prince, what fight do you care about on this card?
I think let's just go to the main event.
Again?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, hold on. Okay, hold on. You've got the Chase Sherman fight, which at least has some interest. Who win? Does Chase Sherman win? No, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Christoph Jotko versus Gerald Mearshart is a good fight. You've got Darren Elkins, Damage Elkins. I don't know how that guy wins all the time. Like that guy takes so much damage.
Arlovsky's fighting too.
Fight. Arlovsky? Goddamn Arlovsky, Prince. This guy is 172 years old. He's fought 1 billion times. He's 43, right? 43, but he is, he's had his ups and downs. I mean, he was a monster back in the day, but he has had 55 professional fights, 33 and 20. I mean, that's pretty crazy. But he's on a 3-fight win streak at heavyweight. He's won 5 of his last 6, dating back to 2020. He's on a streak, man.
Yeah, he's on a roll. Like I don't doubt him. How old is he actually?
43. Thanks for listening.
Actually, sorry.
What he's fighting Jake Collier. Okay, I'll give you $1 billion right now if you can tell me his nickname. Nope, he is the prototype Jake Collier, and I'm saying that because I don't know how many people know who this guy is. He has alternated wins and losses for the past since 2014. Lost win. His last fight is a win over the aforementioned Chase Sherman.
Yep.
All right. So, which maybe doesn't mean much. Submission performance of the night. Prince, does Arlovsky continue his victorious streak?
Yep. I say Andre takes it. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna take it.
Jake Collier is 13-6. He's got a good record, man. Is he a young guy? He's 33, so he's 10 years the junior of Arlovsky. I don't know. I've got Arlovsky winning this one as well. I think Arlovsky gets it done. That's
Andre has got 33-20. 33 fights. That's, man.
But of the 20 losses, how many like bad losses? Because he's had some,
That's impressive.
11 knockouts. I mean, that's a lot of damage, man, over time. But anyways, okay, main event, you've got Rob Font versus Marlin Cheeto Vera. Prince.
Yeah.
Rob Font is ranked number 5. He's on he lost his last fight to Jose Aldo. Before that, he won 4 fights. And then you've got Marlon Cheeto Vera, the only man who has beaten Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He is ranked number 8. So this is number 5 versus number 8. He's won 3 of his last 4. He beat Frankie Edgar and Davey Grant on his last 2 fights, both of them earning him Performance of the Night and Fight of the Night honors. Who do you got?
Font's got amazing striking. He's good. I mean, he's a good boxer, but man, I think Vera's going to take it. He's just the pure grit. I think it's going to go by decision. I think it's going to go the distance, but I got Vera. I got Cheeto. What do you got?
Cheeto Vera decision. This one's a real toss-up. This is going to be a good fight. I'm going to say Cheeto Vera by knockout in the second round. Yeah. He's good, man. Cheeto Vera is good. He's on a roll. He's feeling good.
You think he's going to knock out Font?
Yeah, man. I do. I'm not high on Font. I love Font. I think he's great, but I think Cheeto Vera is kind of streaking, man. I do like him. And I like his attitude. I like his mentality. We'll see. It's a very close fight. I like both guys. I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm more excited for the Andrei Arlovsky fight. Yep. Just because it's bloody Andrei Arlovsky again. And I'm very interested to see the Chase Sherman fight during the prelims because I want to see what happens there. So I think that is an end for our podcast. We've hit everything we wanted. We had a great interview with Fight League Atlantic. Derek, man, nice guy. Very interesting, right?
Yeah. Like, talk about customer service. They should just call him Derek Customer Service Clarke. Because, so nice.
No, nice guy, man. I think this will be an interesting event. I want to see it because if he's saying how good the production is and stuff like that, hey, man, I want to see it. I want to see because I love that. I like production. I like when people put good effort in that stuff. Goddamn Invicta is filming fights in like an empty church and it looks like garbage. And that's a big promotion. Like, what is Fight League Atlantic doing? I want to see how they look.
But at least Invicta, they had collections after, like they collected.
Did they?
They were like handing out the basket.
Sacrilegious. You're going straight to hell. Okay, Prince, anything you want to say before we get going? Is there any news that you'd like to share? Or
guys, again, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, listen to us on Spotify, follow us at TikTok, Twitter. We're there. We're square. Nude shout out.
Yeah.
That's all I got to
Prince,
say.
Let's do this, buddy. We will see you next week with Jordan the Monkey King Levitt. And that's it, buddy. I think we're done. See you later. Enjoy the fights.